Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Donald Trump seems to be getting increasingly nervous. There was actually a story, and you know, all of this, like, Robert Mueller looks like he's investigating this. Robert Mueller looks like he's investigating that stories. I feel like there's not a month that has gone by where you don't see a story of, like, Robert Mueller's investigation is further along than you think, and the pace is picking up. I feel like that is a headline we see everywhere. There is a story, I think it was in New York Magazine or Wired. Well, no, that one was in Wired. But there was another one that suggested Mueller is looking into the targeting of voters in Wisconsin and Michigan by Russian Facebook bots and possible communications between the Trump campaign that would have sent voter file data, because it's highly unlikely that it's one thing to try and mess with an election. You'd have to be fairly sophisticated to know. Well, you couldn't without having the voter data files of, you know, the certain counties that you would want to geo-target with your ads. Nevertheless, apparently Mueller is looking into that type of collusion. I mean, that's one of the things that we did talk about way back when. And I still would argue that to the extent that anyone on the Trump campaign sent that type of targeting information to the Russians, they did so thinking they were talking to the same guys who steal credit card numbers for their buddies, who could very well be the same people, frankly. But I don't know that the officials in the Trump administration would have to know that they were colluding with Russian national operatives, as opposed to just, the Serbian hires of Russian mafiosa guys. Like, we thought we were dealing with the mafia. We had no idea. But nevertheless, that is a roundabout way to go to say that Donald Trump clearly has treason on his mind. He's a little bit nervous. And one of the things that I think is sort of a standard practice in the context of political campaigns, particularly as operated by the Republicans, is projection, right? I mean, we know back in 2004, George W. Bush had it had been exposed more or less that he had gone AWOL from his military service. So they made John Kerry's military service, where he actually went to Vietnam, the issue. Well, here's Donald Trump, very, very concerned about reasons to believe that perhaps the Democrats are treasonous.
Didn't even want to look too much during the speech over to that side, because honestly, it was bad energy.
Pause it for 1 second. Now, of course, Donald Trump is talking. Go back to the beginning. Donald Trump is talking about the State of the Union address.
I think Michael is offended by this gross cultural appropriation of his people.
Exactly. You don't use my woo language, you bastard.
I didn't like I didn't have my proper, what do you call it, those crystals.
My chakras weren't energetically aligned.
What's amazing?
I needed to guard my... the chi.
I think he's making. I think he went back and watched his speech and realized that he only looked at one teleprompter and never went back, and so now he's trying to sort of reverse engineer an excuse for it. But here we go.
Didn't even want to look too much during the speech over to that side, because honestly, it was bad energy.
Yeah.
No, it was bad energy. You're up there. You've got half the room going totally crazy, wild. They loved everything. They want to do something great for our country. And you have the other side, even on positive news, really positive news like that, they were like death and un-American. Un-American. Somebody said treasonous. I mean, yeah, I guess why not? Can we call that treason? Why not? I mean, they certainly didn't seem to love our country very much.
He's back in form.
There you go.
know what? He has had such a drought recently.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't know. Somebody said treasonous. I don't know. The old classic.
I
yeah.
don't know if
love that. That
the
is
way
so
he
awesome.
the way he uses that, it could be somebody in the crowd, or it could be he heard just somebody, like maybe his son or something. Say
Or
treasonous.
maybe he just was sitting around in bed last night going like, it's treasonous, but I can't say that. I can say somebody else said that.
Exactly.
I mean, that's his whole shtick, right? I mean, he would retweet
Somebody get
white
me another
supremacists.
Big Mac.
it was your retweet.
So there it is.
Oh, I'll say somebody said it. Maybe
Let's start the show trials.
the same.
Didn't applaud. Didn't applaud.
Maybe the same friend that went to Paris said treasonous.
Bad energy.
Can't go anywhere. Bad,
Here are the charges. Bad energy.
bad energy.
Didn't
A
applaud.
total lack of energetic alignment.
I couldn't even look over to them. That's a charge. Of
Total
treason.
not manifesting
espionage.
co-creator. So espionage.
Highest ratings of any show trials in history, folks.